For your one-stop shop for collectibles, imports and all sorts. You'll find in-stock items and pre-orders for all upcoming toys in this vid. Visit Big Bad Toy Store.
Be sure to use the link in the description to support the channel. Now, onto some news.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey you Skellywags! We kick things off with Mcfarlane's quote-unquote 7-inch scale line, Avatar. So it was first reported by the Foosh by Robo that this line is actually not really 7-inch scale, more sort of 7-inch relative to the main figures, which means they actually fit perfectly with 1/18 scale and are more at home here in the 1/18 toy news. The first line of figures is already available on BBTS, and with the new film just around the corner, the next lot of toys is now also available for pre-order. Although the Na'vi should scale well with your 4-inch figures, I think most people are actually more interested in the mechs that they have. This unique crab mech has certainly piqued my interest. They're on pre-order right now on BBTS at various prices. Click the link in the description to support the channel. Due for release sometime in December. We have some exciting new movement from Ying's studio. Patrick Chan from the community has shared news that Wei Wa Wei of Ying's studio will finally be looking to release brand new Planet Green Valley figures in November. I managed to score my first PGV figures from BBTS at normal retail, and I'm hoping that they'll be able to score a few of these new figures there at some point soon. Otherwise, these figures are not the easiest to obtain. It involves sending emails, a bit of back and forth, paying through someone else. I suggest joining the premium 1/18 Toy Hub or Planet Green Valley Facebook groups to get some help there. And if you're nice, you can get some help from PGV expert Patrick Chan. There'll be several new female characters with variations on their loadouts. A brand new cyborg figure with 3 different colour variants. And for the first time we'll be getting a couple new male characters. These will all scale well with your normal 1/18 4-inch scale figures. If you are interested in obtaining these figures in the non-conventional way, EM Hobby TV does have a video breakdown of how to do so, which involves Adam from Awesome Action Toys. We now move on to news from Hiya Toys. Snake Eyes was previously announced. I wonder who's next? Stormshadow is an elite Cobra Ninja operative and an exiled member of the Arashikage Ninja clan, one of Japan's legendary families. He trained in their methods of infiltration and combat. Extremely skilled, blindingly fast, incredibly resilient, and devastatingly lethal. Elite level expert in a variety of martial arts and an array of ninja weaponry, destined to be the leader of the Arashikage before fate took a turn and sent him on a different path and into the ranks of Cobra. This line is due out early 2023, but there are concerns that they will not be coming to the West. Currently not available for pre-order on BBTS. Here's something that is. Judge Anderson and Lawmaster Mark II set. With her powerful psychic abilities and irreverent wit, Judge Anderson is one of 2000 AD's biggest characters. The Lawmaster is the fearsome motorbike that judges use to patrol the crime-ridden streets and megaways of Mega City 1. With its twin bike cannons, it can blow away perps as its onboard computer and artificial intelligence provides everything from criminal records to voice scans and can even drive itself. The single figure will be released early 2023 for $20, but if you wait till May, you can get this set for $69.99. We have some more from Toys Alliance and Acid Rain. So they seem to be all in on Omamga, with a brand new character, Bernard. A rising star in the Omangan army, Bernard fears nothing. Born into the aristocracy, as a child Bernard was powerless, forced to sit and watch as his mother and father squandered their wealth and position until they were little more than beggars. He nursed his frustration into fury, which drove him to join the military. In his first real engagement, he single-handedly slaughtered over a dozen enemy combatants, from which point he was earmarked for officer training. Now the captain of one of the elite dire Spec Ops units for the Abaddon army, Bernard eagerly rushes into the heat of battle to hunt down high-priority targets, annihilating his enemies with arrogant flair. His rage in battle is only matched by a fierce loyalty for his country and companions. Really loving the look of this figure and how those knives come out from the forearms. Responsible for the strength of Ved, we have Ratko. Ratko is one of two Omangan heroes along with General Stange Matic, who ended the First Northern Rebellion. Though the cybernetic prosthesis should have healed the tissue deterioration that he incurred while fighting dissidents of the irradiated region around the fallen city of El Reto, rumours persisted that he was not the pilot he once was, and he himself requested to be transferred to become a military instructor. The recruits are fond of Ratko, but are skeptical that this drunkard, barely ever sober, was once the renowned Blue Wolf, the legendary ace SA pilot who took on and defeated an entire battalion of rebels by himself. Nevertheless, despite his seeming apathy, Ratko maintains a keen eye for talent and has recently taken an interest in the burgeoning career of one Captain Bernard. He is keen to make sure the young man does not repeat his same mistakes. Definitely appreciating the weapon storage, must buy for me. Joining these two, we have not one, but two brand new mechs. The first is the Dwarf D2. With the possibility of war looming on the horizon, Emperor Alexander III ordered a fundamental review of all SA units and designs to identify potential weaknesses. A keen pilot himself, Alexander's fears were confirmed. Cerberus units were practically unmatched on the battlefield, but were slow to deploy. So it was that a new SA design was commissioned, one still using the powerful Cerberus core, but with a modular design and a new lightweight cockpit in the central frame, resulting in the Dwarf D2. The Dwarf series is about half the size of a Cerberus, able to be deployed fast and maneuver swiftly around the battlefield. They are particularly effective when used in lightning strike raids, which begs the question, when will they be used and where? Omamga readies herself to strike out against her enemies. The modularity of this with the Barghest makes it an even more tempting proposition. The Red Dwarf D2C-R. General Ratko, leader of the Omanga's Abaddon Army 1st Legion, known by his moniker the Blue Wolf, famed for his aggressively slanted tactics, was thrilled to see the development of the Dwarf series of SA models, having long wanted a more maneuverable mech to pilot. He requested a special model, which came into being as the custom Red Dwarf D2C-R. The Red Dwarf is just as fast as its regular dwarf counterparts, but has been tweaked by Ratko to be able to carry a suite of heavier weaponry, more suited to a Cerberus. While this makes piloting somewhat more difficult due to the overbalance of the weaponry, Ratko is no ordinary pilot, making it a potent combination of speed and firepower when steered by the General's capable hands. I'm really loving the expansion of Omamga, and I know it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but certainly speaks to my sensibilities. I'm glad they're using the new Omamga buck, as the Geist figure is definitely one of my faves. All these due end of April 2023. The newly announced collaboration brings together the worlds of Acid Rain, Annex 2179, and Super 7's The Worst. As a result of the distorted time-space of the Annex world, interdimensional portals of different worlds open and begin to intertwine with one another. Cortex Commander and his army of cybernetic cerebral soldiers have travelled through one of these interdimensional portals to continue their diabolical campaign. Known as the ruthless mastermind of chaos, Cortex Commander and his army have only one thing on their minds: intergalactic domination. Cortex Commander is linked with his Medulla Marines through a complex neural network, allowing him to control his legion of Cortex Infantry and Cortex Flame Troopers with surgical precision. Using mechanized suits and repurposed weaponry from defeated enemies, the Cortex army continues to grow. Enemy combatants and anything foolish enough to get in the way are gone in an instant, like synapses firing in the brain, mind-obliterating matter. With the entire world in peril, will anything be able to defeat Cortex Commander and his bloodthirsty brain brigade? There are good guys, there are bad guys. Then there are the Worst, ex-Acid Rain world. There are 3 colour variants of Cortex Commander, with the original, one known as Brain Freeze in white, and the Transcranial Tyrant. 5 figures altogether using the old Omamga buck with the Cortex Infantry and Cortex Flame Trooper, due for release February 2023. Let's see what's new in the world of Joytoy. With only 2 months of the year left, we've still got a ton of stuff incoming. We start things off in a semi-big way with the first mecha for the cult of San Reja, the Z8 Cub Assault mecha. This is a smaller scale mech, more in line with the Snark and Firehammer, so shouldn't take up too much space on your shelf. The promo pics seem to show the same figure piloting this mecha. Mara will be sold separately from the Z8 Cub Assault mecha. Just like the rest of the cult of San Reja, she's wearing a mask covering her face. She has a nice looking leather jacket and boots, and I love that she can store all her weapons. So I'm starting to think that Joytoy have a thing for actress Kate Mara, as this character's name is Kate. Anyway, Kate looks like the female counterpart to Annex 2179's Detective Smith. Video to that is on the channel, link in the description, check that out after this. But it's definitely one I'll be looking to pick up. All these 3 expected in December. The fun doesn't stop there, we've got just a bit more before 40k. Koseidon, or Dinosaur Course Koseidon, is not a franchise I'm familiar with. Not much has been revealed about this, and in fact, there's not been a Western release confirmed as yet. At the moment, all we can do is appreciate these lovely images. I will update if there is any news on a release, but it seems to be a very niche franchise, so don't hold your breath. From the Dark Source Jianghu line, this is Kangwan Temple Monk Wunyan. This guy gives off big Street Fighter vibes to me. In particular, Gouken, Ryu and Ken's master. This character immediately caught my attention, and having played about with the first 2 Jianghu releases, I have high hopes. It seems that they've also improved on the look of the knees and how they articulate. Really glad to see these improvements so early on. I'm not normally a fan of expressive hands, but they really do help with these figures. Wuzun Sect Tengshan Yu. At first I thought this guy was using the same buck as Tuxin Shen, but both these new releases are using brand new bucks. Like Tuxin Shen, this guy is void of any weaponry except those crazy leg armor bits. I've pre-ordered both figures already and they're due for release in December. Just revealed by Awesome Action Toys, we have Tai Chang Sect Ping Ding. This is literally just dropped with additional pictures here from Patrick Chan. More information in the next 118 Toy News. Now let's move on to some Warhammer 40k. The newly released Bladeguard Veteran is utilising 2.0 body and is an amalgamation of the previous releases. So this will be a bit bigger than your original Bladeguard Veterans. Utilises, I think it's the Bladeguard 2 unhelmeted head sculpt. It's got 2 additional helmeted heads and a wealth of other extras. It's currently being shipped right now from China. We have 3 Eradicators that have been announced that are expected this side of Christmas. All 3 having brand new, very mean looking head sculpts and huge weapons that attach to the power pack. The only thing all 3 seem to be lacking is a full helmeted head. But if you like your chunky Space Marines, this may be for you. Someone who's not lacking a full helmeted head is the Captain with mastercrafted heavy bolt rifle. Unique in that I think it's the only figure that can both store away his sword and carry his weapon on his shoulder, which is right up my alley, and he looks to be a very chunky boy. He's expected at the end of November. One that was newly announced and has shot up straight to the top of one of my most anticipated of the rest of this year is the Grey Knight's Crow. Just like the other Grey Knights announced, Joytoy have not shied away from bringing us all the little details in this design. And with 2 excellent head sculpts, I'll be struggling to decide which of the 2 I'd want to display him with. I'll probably switch between both of them back and forth. And he also comes equipped with his very impressive haunted demonic sword. Due to be shipped in December, but may come a bit earlier. Fingers crossed. Whilst on the subject of hot releases, we have the Victrix Honor Guard. Pre-orders sold really well in China and through a number of outlets was sold out, but I believe you can still pre-order through BBTS. I think most, like myself, are grabbing 2 of these, simply so that we can have them stood next to Chapter Master Marneus Calgar. At 13.2 centimeters tall, he's going to be a big lad, but it's his width that really makes him stand out from the rest. Huge shoulder pads and power pack. I'm a bit concerned as there are no pictures with his arms just beside him. It all seems to be kind of at an angle facing either forward or up. But I'm sure time will tell once we get our hands on these. Should be in sometime in January. One I was not expecting but has definitely become a must-have is the Primaris Tech Marine Brother Tibestus. This guy's got quite a bit going on in his design, with a mechanical arm coming out of his power pack, a robotic arm, some other bits here, there and everywhere. He's also got 2 different head sculpts. One that kind of looks like Terminator-esque, and obviously a helmeted head that I think looks really awesome. Along with Calgar, he's expected to ship in January. We now explore figures from the Tau Empire. We have 2 battle suits that will be towering over your normal figures, coming in at about 18.2 centimeters, both with flight stands that will probably be needed, as the feet on both battlesuits look to be using the stand for support. Don't have a confirmed release date, so it could be by the end of the year or early next year. Tau Empire Commander Shadowsun. 40k figures seem to be getting bigger and bolder, as this is another huge figure at 14.6 centimeters tall. There are two huge guns via separate appendages that seem to be connected to the backpack and look like they can be connected to the forearms. They seem to be articulated in the same way. This figure also comes with a flight stand, alternate helmeted head, and a pistol. My only gripe being there doesn't seem to be anywhere you can store the pistol. Finally, from the Tau Empire, we have the Fire Warrior 4-figure set. These four will stand closer to your normal Joytoy 118 scale action figures and all look pretty awesome, even in a non-40k collection. Speaking of 4-figure sets, we've got the Black Templars Army Primaris Crusader Squad. This looks to be your army builder for the Black Templars, as we've only previously had one figure released with a bike, but these look more impressive. Utilising the new 2.0 body and each with their own loadouts, these Black Templars also have their own little accoutrements, additional hands, and chains to attach the weapons to the wrists. These figures will be shipping very soon. Newly announced, we have some more Black Templars love. It starts off with a Black Templars Redemptor Dreadnought. So following on from the previous Redemptors that we've seen, this is just in all black, with a few bits of red here and there. Just like the previous Redemptor, this is a very big, impressive figure. Having been fortunate enough to receive my own Redemptor Dreadnought from Joytoy, I can honestly say, spoilers, that it's one of the best figures you can get at 40k and this scale. Black Templars Marshal. Now I personally won't be getting all of the Black Templars. I've got the one right now which I will be customizing. I will however be picking up this figure, even if it's just for the little skelly on the back hanging off. I've heard some concerns with how he looks with that kind of smile on his face, but I kind of like it. I heard Joytoy are improving that, so we'll see what the end product looks like. Not sure if this is actually representative of what will be released. Black Templars Emperor's Champion. It was previously teased that this figure would be coming out, and now we've got these promo images to see just how badass he looks. Complete with a huge sword that looks very, very impressive. It's got a very simple design with a blank chest, which I think really works well. And as with the Marshal, there have been concerns with the head sculpt of this figure and the helmet, how the eyes are. I think they've also been improving on how that looks too. There have also been some new images with the return of edge highlighting. This is one that I'm very, very tempted by. Finally, from the Black Templars, we have the Sword Brethren. I think the design of all of these figures are looking really, really impressive. I quite like the collar on this one and the red trim on the pauldrons. I think look especially good. I think this was definitely worth the wait for anyone who was looking to get more Black Templars. These look to be some of the best Space Marines we've seen so far. So I thought we were finished on 40k news, but Joytoy were announcing something new every day this week. Firstly, we've got some teasers for Battle Sisters and a tease of prototype head sculpts. We have a full reveal of the new Space Wolves figure on the 2.0 body. This will be your sort of army builder on this new body with some of the parts we've seen before. There's a brand new hammer, which looks a bit maybe undersized. I believe we have seen the shield before, which is very recent in the Thunderwolf Cavalry with Frode. And the axe we've seen with Logan Ghostwolf. Also incoming, we've got 3 brand new Heavy Intercessors. The previous Heavy Intercessors were limited in articulation and had these sort of like pot bellies. Both articulation and stability on these are seemingly improved. Lastly, we have our first look at the White Scars. Third Company Captain Corsaro Khan. A named figure, this is probably one I'll be picking up. I like the design of how the cape rests on the shoulders, and the white on it really gives it that sort of space feel. That bird or eagle looks kind of bored, but it's a good addition to this figure. But we've got another unique head sculpt. I just wish there was maybe an alternate helmeted head too. And finally, we have 2 Primaris Intercessors. One is in all white, the other with a red helmet and some red designs on the armor. Both look very nice. The white one in particular, again, evokes kind of space to me. They each have helmeted and unhelmeted heads and different loadouts, wealth of little extras you get with each figure. And also skulls. One has skulls hanging off the side and the other one has an additional hand holding the skulls. These are probably expected sometime early next year. So that's it for now. I'll have some images of prototypes here for a bit because there's no time to really go through them. And also some Hasbro stuff was announced, which will be in the next 118 toy news. This has just gone on for a bit longer than I anticipated. A load of news, especially from Joytoy. Let me know what you like best and what you're looking forward to most. Click like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll scale you guys later.